I want to talk about data in Star Trek Picard and why it's so great. I have had times where, before the season started, Picard season 3, and, during it and after, that I was a little bit worried about how goofy it was that Data was back. But once we saw it, I was like, that was brilliant. In fact, it was better than my idea of bringing him back. It was somewhat similar in some ways to my idea, but it was way better. And I love when ideas are better than mine, because when they're that better, it's fun and exciting. The great thing about Data when you see him in Picard Season 1, first of all, the only good thing about Picard Season 1 to me is Data and Picard, their on-screen relationship. Obviously, the very end is touching, and also the beginning is nice as well. And in the end, it's really about sort of letting Data's memory that's trapped in this program, fade away, and Picard trying to let go of some of his guilt over Data, which is kind of funny that it all comes back to, hey, Data's back again in Season 3. But what I like is that Data looks very close to the Data we know because they CGI'd his face. And when you see the new Data in Picard Season 3, you can see the difference. He doesn't quite feel like Data, but that's okay because he's not supposed to. And what I like about this, here's what I like. Some people would say, I don't like that, it's basically giving an excuse for Brent Spiner to look old playing Data. But obviously it's not really Data, and what's terrible and beautiful about that is the Data that we all knew and loved is actually gone. He really isn't back, essentially the Data that we knew and loved is in the new Data, but it's also mixed with all those other personalities, of course, and it's a Data that hasn't yet sacrificed himself. So the totality of the real, original, actual Data did happen, and it's a sad tragedy, but also a beautiful thing and a beautiful sacrifice. So it still allows original Data to have this arc, and to actually have done what he did and lived this life and to really be original, because the new Data isn't that Data, so it's still a new character, a new person. But it also allows Data to be the most human version of himself he's ever been, because it is a copy of Data mixed with B4 lore and everything else, so in an older body. So it allows a sort of a new Data, a copied, evolved Data to exist. So that's what I love about Data in Star Trek Picard Season 3, was that they were able to bring back Data that we pretty much know and love, but he isn't quite the same, but he's familiar, and it doesn't ruin original Data, because that Data existed the way he did. And then, of course, there was this weird sort of like consciousness of Data that was in a computer program that Picard interacted with in Season 1, which is dumb, but like even that was done well enough that it doesn't ruin original Data for anybody. But I mean, I'll never watch Season 1 ever again, really, anyway, although I love the opening scene of Season 1. But so this is what I like about Data. We never really see Data again looking the way Data looked and acting the exact way Data act, other than in, the opening scene of Picard Season 1. I mean, that really is Data. When you go back and watch it, you're like, wow. After watching Brent Spiner play this sort of mixed version of Data, and then going back and watching the performance of Brent Spiner in Season 1 of Picard, you can see the difference of how he was playing a memory of actual Data, and now in Season 3 of Picard, he is clearly playing a fused version of Data. And I really, really like it because it allowed them to get away with bringing Data back, sort of, but also it not fully really being Data, because it really then allows that respect of the totality of the original Data's death to matter still. Like, you can still go back and watch Nemesis, and this is the last time we'll really see Data, like the Data we all know and really, really know, and the real Data. This is the last time we're going to see it. And so that allows that to be intact and to be respected, and that moment to still be pretty emotional, and but this allows us to sort of experience Data, the actual Data as an evolved android. And it's not, and Data was not against that sort of thing. Data wanted to put, an emotion chip in and to better himself. And so this is like the ultimate, version of that, with the upgrades that he has and the mixes of the other personalities. But he is sort of the dominant master of the integrated personalities, because his brain, his being, his memories are the master. So yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts. I mean, I know that's probably obvious to most people. This is an obvious thing, but it just every once in a while when I rewatch Picard season 3, I sit there and I think about it and I go, man, like what a wonderful job, to be able to, and just to be able to feel that way, to be able to, like, it's one of the best cheats ever to feel this way. One of the worst things in season 1 was when they showed that all these androids were enslaved, basically. I thought that was the worst thing, and that certainly, this is not what Picard and Data would not be happy about this. I could not believe that in season 1, because that's what they were always worried about, that they would just turn these robots, these into slave labor, and that's what they'd done. And I thought that was crazy. But yeah, so just thinking about it. So once in a while when I really love the opening scene to Picard season 1, because it feels like I'm looking at real Data, but it's a memory, so it's okay. Or it's like a dream, so it's okay. But Data was handled wonderfully by everybody in Star Trek Picard season 3. And I hope you guys leave any thoughts below if you want. And have a good week. And I'll catch you later. This is Star Trek Late Night. And thanks to No Money G, who last video dropped a $20 donation super chat. Thank you so much, No Money G, man. I really appreciate that, man. I hope everybody's having a okay holiday time. And I will see you hopefully soon.